So there is a new book coming out about Twitter, or how should we say Elon Musk destroyed Twitter, called Character Limit. Now, at this point, I always recommend Breaking Twitter. That's a very good book and also extremely hardcore. Now, the difference between these two and the new one that's coming out is that Breaking Twitter and Extremely Hardcore were at like the very start of Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter. So it's a lot of the early stuff. Breaking Twitter, if you want to read that, talks to a lot of high level people who were involved in Twitter. And Extremely Hardcore talks to, again, some of the same people. So there's a bit of story crossover between the two. But they also, in Extremely Hardcore, talk to a lot of the middle management, lower level people as well. So you get a view sense from reading those books what happened in those initial first chaotic months. But bear in mind, there has been a lot of stuff happening then and since between then. And it must be insane to think about the stuff going on behind the scenes. So this new book chronicles a lot of what was going on in between that. So it's almost like if you read one of those books, I highly recommend going to pick this up because I'm definitely going to get this. So this is coming out soon, or it is out now, I believe. But it's called Character Limit: How Elon Musk Destroyed Twitter. But we're going to go through 11 moments from this book that are insane. Just insane. I've said this before. I cannot wait until someone does like the definitive documentary of all this because it's going to be absolutely wild. So, before we do get on into this, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. Down below, there's a link to my Patreon page, the one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, or well, Buy Me Coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, there's the Pony Club down below as well. And of course, thank you very much to everyone who does support the channel that way. Even if you do, just click the like and share, leave a comment down below, all the good stuff. It all helps. So let's crack on then into this. So the title of this article is 11 WTF Moments from Character Limit, the book about how Elon Musk destroyed Twitter. So let's go on to some of this stuff. So the first one is he blew a fortune on hiring a fake private eye. So when Musk got into trouble for smearing a British diver involved in the 2018 rescue of the Thailand youth soccer team in a flooded cave, calling him a pedo, he made efforts to try and prove the unfounded accusation true. To that end, his wealth manager and CEO of his brain implant company, Neuralink, Gerard Birchall, paid over $52,000 to someone he thought was a private investigator to dig up dirt on the man. In fact, the sleuth was a former convict without any credentials who fed Birchall and Musk now false information about the diver. And Musk managed to even beat a defamation lawsuit anyway. I know that's not even about Twitter, but that is insane. That's just insane. This one's insane as well. Musk's drug habits almost led to an intervention. So Musk has very been open about his use of drugs like ketamine, to the alarm of the leadership, of course, at Tesla and SpaceX. As Cougar and Mac report, he has also been known to take LSD or even ecstasy at parties and stay up late tweeting on Ambien, a drug that is meant to be a sleep aid. This chemical cocktail led to such erratic behavior in early 2022, shortly before Musk would launch his bid for Twitter, that close family actually began to discuss a possible intervention that could make him aware of the issues. Musk was completely unreceptive to all their concerns. And then this is insane as well. Yeah, a partnership with Sam Bankman-Fried. So Musk had very harsh remarks for the crypto kingpin Sam Bankman-Fried once his exchange FTX collapsed back in mid-November of 2022, with an $8 billion of customer funds left missing. But in March of that year, Musk actually acquired a significant stake in Twitter and even mauled buying it outright. I remember the whole reason of rebranding it X was this big idea that Elon Musk's had to create this everything app that you just go to this one place and you get everything from it. So it does not surprise me that he wanted to potentially even buy the FTX and even integrate that somehow into Twitter. So, but in March of that year, as Musk acquired now a significant stake of Twitter, he now mulled buying it outright. Bankman-Fried was amongst those acquaintances now encouraging the takeover so that he could come on as an investor. After the merger deal was signed, Musk's financial team pushed him to accept funding from SBF, claiming that this would invest as much as over $3 billion. Musk didn't go for it and apparently pretended not to know who SBF was when he continued to text, "Sorry, who is sending this message?" He wrote to the supposed wunderkind, despite having been connected to the FTX ledger at least twice via message. This is also insane one. Grimes found out her baby's name is already taken. We learned last year from Walter Isaacson's biography from Elon Musk about the curious familial coincidence. The billionaire's on and off again and musician Grimes stayed in an Austin hospital in 2021 when a surrogate was now preparing to give birth to their second child together. Unbeknownst to Grimes, Chevron Zills, a Neuralink employee, was in the same maternity ward, pregnant with twins by vero fertilization, with Musk as the father. Grimes was furious. Character limit notes, not just to learn that he was having children with another woman at the same time, but because Zeus named her daughter Valkyrie, a name that she had been saving for her own daughter, born months later. Musk and Grimes would then go on to welcome a third child the following year, but have since waged now a custody battle over all three. Oh, and then this is so weird. Demanding that Twitter help pay for Musk's acquisition. This is insane. So Twitter's executives were completely dumbfounded by how quickly Musk wanted to complete his purchase of the company without any usual due diligence. Musk performing due diligence? Imagine my shock at doing that. Anyway, the speed at which the deal went through caused a lot of mistakes. For instance, Musk lawyers accidentally emailed Twitter's finance team a spreadsheet of everyone they'd solicited for investment in the deal. They then threatened them if they didn't delete it. Late at the 11th hour, Anito Garcias, a private equity investor and close to Musk, associate with the deal, told Twitter that there were over 400 million short of the agreed price. "You need to wire us the money," he told executives in a phone call. An extraordinary demand that they could not approve. "You're not going to wire me the effing money," Garcias replied. "Are you saying no to Elon Musk?" In the end, Musk's team found another source for the missing millions and the deal went through. Oh. Um, oh, this is about Musk's beef he has with Mark Zuckerberg. So, Character Limit also traces the years-long grudge against another Silicon Valley billionaire, the Meta CEO owner Mark Zuckerberg, which dates as far back as the statement made back in 2016 about the SpaceX rocket that exploded on launch with one of Facebook's satellites aboard. More recently, Meta unveiled the Twitter competitor Threads, and Musk had made very empty boasts about his willingness to fight Zuckerberg in a cage match. Yeah, if you remember that, that was a thing that happened. It's so weird. There's just so much out there sometimes. You forget, like, oh yeah, yeah, he threatened him to try and get him to fight in a cage match. What? The vendetta partly explains the very first comment upon hearing now of the costly Twitter deal and now officially closed. He slammed his fist down on the table and let out what could only be described as a battle cry. "Fuck Zuck," Musk shouted. John Chen, the Twitter VP on hand to witness the outburst, said, "I couldn't fathom it. What the moment had to do with Musk's enemy." At that rate, his response now sharply contrasted with what Musk said on Twitter initially after accepting the offer, saying, "I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life." He sure is, considering that Musk is apparently going to or at least as far as we know, possibly have to sell a lot of Tesla stock to try and keep, um, Twitter afloat. And not only is that going to affect Twitter, it is vastly going to affect the Twitter stock as well. Because what's going to stop Musk maybe doing this in the future? But we already know, as people have already said multiple times, you look at a lot of people who study this, the whole uh, Tesla stock vastly overpriced, vastly overpriced. So that's going to have a huge, huge effect on Musk. And then this is insane paranoia about employees that didn't even exist. So, originally, Musk's Twitter was chaotic. So, organizationally, Musk's Twitter was chaotic from day one. He had demanded the firing of certain executives before he's even CEO. Then the company laid off thousands of employees at random. He then had to hire some back. And in one case, he couldn't even explain why an essential worker had been terminated. This also fired now a lead engineer on bereavement leave for supposedly approving a budget for a party that had taken place 6 months before he was actually hired. Musk was completely paranoid about the employees who stayed, fearing that they would now sabotage the site. But strangest of all, Conger and Mac also report that he now convinced himself that not all of Twitter's employees were real. He wanted to now audit the staff to identify what he called ghost employees who might be collecting paychecks without doing work. When the request actually came up in a meeting, several executives burst out laughing at the absurdity of the idea. Ultimately, Twitter's accounting chief and his team had 2 days to confirm the identity of 7,000 remaining employees. No ghosts were found. What? That's a new one. That's a new one that I've not heard before. So concept would have been absolutely now disastrous feature. Oh, this is an insane one to hear. So Musk had basically one idea for how to increase Twitter's revenue while making it now less dependent on advertisers that were already leaving the site. Get rid of the old verification system that assigned blue check marks to notable figures, institutions, and media, and make people pay $8 a month for a badge as well as premium features. He based the price on his estimate for how much it cost to order a Starbucks. That's insane. Insane. Product teams, meanwhile, were now scrambling to put together more features than they could potentially shore up the company's finances. One poorly conceived proposal, and it is really poorly conceived, was to pay for direct messaging, which would allow users to DM celebrities for a fee. Mock-ups presented to Musk were encouraged to show a user paying just a few dollars to message the musician Post Malone, with a Twitter now taking a cut of the proceeds. Perhaps someone out there thought this was a good way to now drive celebrities off the site because the project didn't move forward from there. Oh, yeah. I can imagine celebrities totally not finding that a problem. This is also quite strange as well. Jack Dorsey's dabbling in conspiracy culture. So much has also been made of the misinformation that Musk disseminates on social media. But Character Limit also touches upon the various curious context excused or even amplified by Twitter co-founder and former CEO Jack Dorsey, who encouraged Musk to acquire the platform. In late 2020, he would often object to labeling or even removal of vaccine misinformation by anti-vaxxers on the site, arguing that they didn't actually violate community guidelines. Later, he then even endorsed an anti-vax third-party candidate, Robert F. Kennedy, for president. Following Musk's later takeover, Dorsey's public communications most often came via the decentralized social media protocol Nostr, where he shared content from a tactic known to use the slogan associated with the far-right conspiracy movement QAnon, as well as conspiratorial videos that referred to victims of the September 11 terrorist attacks as crisis actors. Obviously, Musk isn't the only tech mogul susceptible to outlandish claims. And that's something that I've never heard before, but I think that's something that should be talked about. The fact that previously Jack Dorsey was, dabbling in this crazy misinformation stuff as well. So yeah, it's not just Musk, but Musk has just made it so much worse. Then, oh, this is fun. Yeah, outgoing employee gives Musk his honest opinion. So Musk is not too forgiving of employees who criticize him or give him an answer he does not like. In many episodes in the book now illustrate, in one case, he was now enraged about the decline in engagement on his tweets and abruptly fired an engineer who suggested that the public's interest in him had fallen off since Twitter's acquisition closed several months prior. But another employee, and bear in mind, imagine firing someone for saying, "Yeah, you're just not popular anymore." Sorry, fired. What? Anyway, a data scientist who had already made up his mind to resign after turning over memos on how to run Twitter more efficiently, was even more blunt with Musk, saying he explained that he had just been excited about the takeover, but was then disheartened when just weeks later, Musk shared blatant bipartisan misinformation about the assault on the home intruder of then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Paul Pelosi, saying it's only really like a 10% of the adult population who will be gullible enough to fall for this. The employee told Musk, who then shot back, fuck you. The departing data scientist then left him with a piece of advice saying, I hope you'll declare bankruptcy and let someone else run the company. Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. Bear in mind, there's already rumors there's someone else apparently meant to have floated an offer to buy Twitter from Musk. I can't remember who the guy's name is now, but apparently someone else has shown interest. But it's whether or not Musk gives him it and lets him do that. So this is another good one. When Musk learned what Twitter users thought of him, so, following a series of disastrous policy changes, Musk decided to hold an informal performance review for himself using one of his favorite tools, the polling feature, saying, should I step down as head of Twitter? I will abide by the result of this poll. Oh, we remember this, if you remember when this happened. He tweeted this back in December of 2022 before embarking on a flight from Qatar to London. When he landed, he found that 57.5% of the more than 17.5 million accounts had voted were calling for him to resign. Between this rejection and the plummeting value of the Tesla stock, Musk became completely withdrawn and unresponsive, with those who did actually manage to talk with him worrying that he was in the throes of now a manic event. Speaking with a confidant, Musk apparently choked up and began to doubt his ability to run the company in light of the poll results, saying, I'm never going to recover from this. He would, of course, then go on to hire Linda Yaccarino as a replacement for CEO in the new year. Though, as anyone still active on the site of Twitter will tell you, it continues to reflect his now worst impulses and warped worldview. Yeah, and Linda Yaccarino, I've said this before, she's the fall person. She's the fall person. If Twitter goes under or anything like that, Musk will not take responsibility for it. He will absolutely not take any responsibility. He will say, none of this was my fault. It was all Linda. Guarantee you that now. So, Linda, I doubt you'll ever see this, but I do hope you're keeping emails, books, diaries of all this stuff, because I'll tell you what, you can make an absolute fortune selling those after. Anyway, oh, GDPR. This is a fun one. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. But oh wow. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to get this. I am definitely gonna have to get this because there's a couple of new things that I learned there. But yeah, yeah. What's gonna happen? I don't know. I think he's gonna end up selling it. I genuinely think he's gonna end up selling it. If you've seen the new stuff about him having to sell Twitter stock, well, not Twitter, Tesla stock, so that he can, save Twitter. The Tesla investors are not going to be happy with that. The Tesla price, if he does this, is going to tank, which is going to affect a whole other bunch of things. There's still the stuff about all the debt that Musk has from this, that the banks can't actually shift that debt, which is then stopping them from doing other deals because they can't shift this debt. Two things are either going to happen. Either A, Musk declares bankruptcy, or he sells it to someone else. And ultimately, it all ends up him selling it to someone else. Oh. Who he actually ends up selling it to, who knows? But they can't do any worse than Musk. They literally cannot do any worse than Musk. Yeah, what is it? 84% apparently. Revenue has gone down by. I do not know of a single company that has lost that much revenue and been able to recover. I've never heard of a company losing that much revenue being able to recover. So I think at this moment, ticking clock for how long should say Elon Musk remains in control of Twitter, because I don't think he's going to remain in control of it for too much longer. But who knows? Maybe we'll just end up being back into it a year from now, and it'll be like season 4 of the Community, the gas leak year, as it's referred to. But yeah, let me know what you think down below, because some of these are wild on this. But there you go. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.